Minecraft is full of useless animals. Cows, pigs, sheep. What function do they actually serve? I know they provide meat, but what function do they serve in the ecosystem? Exactly. None whatsoever. On the other hand, beavers are incredibly important in the great web of life. They build dams, and what do they actually do, come to think of it? To be fair, building dams is a huge deal. So, anyway, I will be attempting to add this keystone species to the game in just 5 hours. This is not going to end well. In the first quarter, I registered both species of beaver in the Forge Entity Types Registry: the North American, Castor canadensis, and its Eurasian counterpart, Castor fiber. They're surprisingly small, these two, which I did not expect. About a meter long and 0.4 meters tall. The North American is smaller. I'm not sure, somebody verified that. They weigh 25 to 30 kilos, but mass has no role in Minecraft, so nobody cares. I ran into an error because I hadn't set the constructors to public but protected. Something in Java. Then I puzzled over how to make the model, embarking on an unsatisfactory hunt for reference images. I was struggling to make the model. The dashed animal is too small in every way. Making a detailed and realistic model is about as difficult as killing a warden with a stick and a pet dog. By the end of the quarter, I ended up making something that looked like it came from the planet Proxima Centauri b. Look at those feet, like hammerhead sharks. The next quarter, I discovered something wonderful. Blockbench's preview scene. Ah, this would have been incredibly useful when I was modeling a bison last time around. So anyway, I completed the model. Looks absolutely foul, but that's life. I was feeling happy before I realized I had forgotten something. Groups. You have to arrange the model's various parts into folders, and it is one of the worst and most error-prone processes in the history of mankind. Moving on. When creating the model and renderer classes in IntelliJ, I kept writing North American bison instead of beaver. Caused me a great deal of mental anguish, if you know what I mean. Wish they lived on different continents. Anyhow, I also tried to summon the beaver in-game for the very first time, and it didn't work. Shock of the century. The next quarter, I thought deeply about why it wasn't spawning and swiftly came to a conclusion. I have no idea what's going on. And after some tinkering, the world wasn't even loading. Perfect! But all hope wasn't lost. Using the log, or the console, I figured out there was an issue with the renderer class. A certain method wasn't being called, so I called it. Went back into test and the beaver is invisible now. Went back into test and the beaver is invisible now. In quarter 6, I searched the code for errors. I found that I'd cleverly missed adding 2 angle brackets. I chucked them in and nothing happened. Chaps, it was the winter of despair. The worst of times. The spring of... never mind. It's working. I have no idea why, but it is. All I did was recreate the model file. After that saga, I began work on the North American's texture, and by the end of the quarter, it was coming along nicely. Quarter 8. You know what I think of the texture at this point? Fantastic. And I'm being modest. The mouth looks horrible, but you can't have everything. You can take pole position, win the race, lead the entire time, but you will not get the fastest lap. Most of the time. I made the Eurasian beaver's model and texture, but I completely ruined the North American's texture. Wonderful. According to my notes for quarter 10, it was pretty easy to fix. Yeah, right. Trust him if you want, I wouldn't. The historical records of the Stone Age civilization are more accurate than any of my notes. I added the attributes and the goals in quarter 11. Nothing too complex. You can feed them logs, or is it sticks? Anyway, you can kill it with 2 hits from a stone sword. Remember when I said mass has no role in Minecraft? Well, it does. The heavier beaver I've forgotten which one, has more health in game. Anyway, I also started work on a walking animation. Chaps, it is harder than you think.